Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer. The reason I do this one first is because, if I'm totally honest, Assassin's Creed has really been the same kind of game for the longest time, and it's only recently that we got the multiplayer component, and it rapidly became the part that I was interested in. Because when it comes down to Assassin's Creed single player, there are some changes every now and again. For instance, Brotherhood added the ability to call in apprentice assassins and send them out on missions. We had a tower defense mechanic within Assassin's Creed Revelations. And then Assassin's Creed 3 kind of did away with the whole city vibe and went into the great unknown of the American prairie, and you had the ability to climb up trees and deal with different kinds of environments, as well as an entirely different setting, and finally a new protagonist. However, the multiplayer has quietly been evolving over the course of 3 games, and has now gotten to the point in Assassin's Creed 3 where it is a big mainline feature. And perhaps not so much as Call of Duty, or any of those other games, which focus very much on the multiplayer aspect of things, but it is a nicely fleshed out mode. Now, eventually, when I get the time, I'll put a good few hours into the Assassin's Creed 3 single player, and I'll come up with a conclusion, but it wouldn't surprise me if that conclusion was the same as all of the other Assassin's Creed games, which is, this is not really a game about assassination, this is a game about mass murder with the ability to do parkour every once in a while. Also, Desmond's an annoying ass. Those are problems. Those are problems which haven't really been addressed throughout the entire series, but the multiplayer, on the other hand, now that is interesting. And the reason it's interesting is because it's not exactly your standard run-of-the-mill multiplayer deathmatch game, by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, it's one of the most interesting game types you'll ever find. And the reason is, of course, it's because it's stolen from another interesting game by the name of The Ship. The Ship was published by Ubisoft many years ago, and the Assassin's Creed 3 and indeed the entire Assassin's Creed multiplayer franchise, as it were, borrows heavily from mechanics in The Ship. And essentially what it's all about is you're pursued by someone, you have no idea what it is, and you are also hunting someone down from a particular list of people, and you are trying to kill them in the most stylish way possible. More importantly, the most incognito way possible. So, let's have a look and see what's going on. Firstly, I want to have a look at this interface, because I don't know about you, but Assassin's Creed's been getting more and more pretentious the further we've been going through the series, and it started to all go a little bit wrong around Assassin's Creed 2, in fact, and then got progressively more ridiculous. And this interface is what is this crap? I don't know why it is that game designers feel the need to do this. I mean, it's horrible. Can we just not have a list? You know, I mean, this user interface has so much stuff underneath it, it beggars belief. This is your main page, so this allows you to do matches and things like that. But then, I mean, what does that mean? What does this mean? What is all of this? This is news and data. What is news and data? It turns out that's the options menu. Extra content which allows you to head to the store, although that doesn't actually bring you to the store where you can purchase Abstergo credits, or Eredito credits, or whatever the hell they call them. That's actually a different store. You want to go to customization, and then to the Abstergo store for that, and then to Eredito credits right here. It's a bloody mess. It really is. They could definitely do with redesigning this in such a way that it's actually user-friendly and makes logical sense. Anyway, Assassin's Creed does have a progression-based system, and as such, you have to unlock stuff. This time around, they allow you to avoid a lot of this unlocking process with this, the Eredito credit system, which allows you to buy Eredito credits from Ubisoft, and then you can unlock any item or ability, I believe, below level 50, utilizing this. So, yeah, it's buying power, isn't it, right? Yeah, kind of. Mostly the stuff that you've got is already pretty well balanced. If I were to head over, if I can find the bloody thing, to ability set items, you'll see that here's a bunch of different abilities and things like that. There are 51 in total, as you can see. None of these are remotely obvious as to what they are, because we're going to have icons rather than a straight-up list. They do categorize them by passives and active abilities, which is always quite nice. But as you can see, you've got prices there. You also have a level requirement. Now, if I were to go to customization, I think it's under here, is it? No, it's not there. It might be here. Is this what I'm looking for? Characters? Ability sets? Yeah, this is where I am. God, this menu is confusing. you get 2 default ability sets, which have some of the best items and the best abilities in the game, though not all of them. Right, this is lacking stuff like Poison Dart, it's lacking stuff like the gun. The gun is one of the more controversial things within Assassin's Creed. It has been since it was brought in, because it allows you to essentially gun someone down from a distance, which is not really what the multiplayer is all about, but it is a very revealing thing indeed. It's very difficult to actually hit with it, and it gives you essentially no points whatsoever. The gun was designed to deal with players that hang around on rooftops too much and were completely and totally difficult to catch in the usual incognito, stealthy kind of way. So you do get Tripwire Bomb, which is pretty good, Wipe, which is pretty good, as is Disruption, in fact, and also the Throwing Knives, Disguise, and Money Bomb. Disguise is useful in several different game types, although not all of them. Money Bomb, that's kind of questionable, at least in my experience anyway. And then you can customize these sets once you actually get the abilities that you need. And if you want to buy them, well, I actually can't remember where the hell that was either. I think it was it under characters? No. I don't even know. The menu's so bloody confusing. You can also customize your character. As you can see here, this is a rather suspicious-looking character. Yeah, this is why I like to play this guy. And you can change things around like your main weapon. None of these actually give you any benefits, as far as I can tell at any rate. This is all completely cosmetic stuff, as you can see. So, you know, I could have the bigger knife if I wanted, and I could spend 15 Abstergo credits for that, and I would have loved to actually show you those unlocks, but the store is currently not working. As in, it's charged my PayPal account, but it hasn't actually given me anything, which is wonderful. Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. It's hard for me to really determine as to whether or not the Erudito credits system, the ability to essentially buy this stuff in-game with real money, imbalances the game in any way. It's hard to say, really, especially considering that one of the most popular modes is called Simple Deathmatch, which disables all abilities anyway. So, it's hard to say. I mean, I really don't agree with the notion of being able to buy stuff that makes you more powerful in a game that you've already paid $60 for. That's anti-competitive in pretty much every respect. And, of course, it's a little bit of extra money grubbing in a title that's already charged you enough as it is, as far as I'm concerned. But I haven't really noticed that completely unbalancing the game in any real way, especially since I just play Simple Deathmatch most of the time anyway. So the question is, what kind of modes are there? Well, it utilizes an annoying playlist system. You can go to custom game, but you've got to kind of go through these different game categories. There's this whole wolf pack thing, which I believe this is new. This is a team-based multiplayer mode. I think there was one in Revelations, but I never really played much of it because it wasn't really all that great. I mean, the strength of the game, in my opinion, is the tension that comes from actually hunting down targets on your own and essentially being a lone wolf assassin. There's also an event, which is pretty cool. These things supposedly happen every now and again, which is a set of different game modes with special conditions which allow you to earn bonus experience and take part in what is essentially a meta storyline, which I really quite like. You've also got private game modes, as you can see. Playground, Wanted, Manhunt, Simple Deathmatch, Deathmatch, Assassinate, Artifact, Assault, Domination. As regards to the good modes, in my opinion, Assassinate's pretty good, Deathmatch and Simple Deathmatch, as well as Wanted. They're all pretty solid as far as I'm concerned. If you want to know what they involve, well, if we go to free-for-all, well, we can have a look. You've got a mode preference right here. Deathmatch, stab people. You can also use abilities, and you have certain ways of helping you find out exactly where your opponent actually is. Wanted. Now, in this case, I believe it's pretty much the same thing, except that you are in an area that has multiple copies of the same character. So there's characters that are controlled by the AI that are designed to confuse you. In Deathmatch, that is not the case, as you can see, and it's actually designed for a smaller area. And then Assassinate is fairly similar, but what you have to do is you have to first identify the player, and usually you're kind of pointed in the vague direction of where they are. You have to identify the player, lock onto them, and then you kill them. So it's just variations on the same thing. Personally, I kind of prefer Simple Deathmatch, and the reason that I do is because it is a very, very clean mode. Simple Deathmatch is a case of you go into a small arena, and you find your target, and you kill them. And you get more points depending on how good the kill is. If you did it incognito, if you snuck up on them, if you disguised yourself in a crowd and then jumped on them at the last moment, if you focused on them for long enough, that kind of thing. This does not have any abilities whatsoever. And this is a completely balanced mode for players that are fairly low level. In fact, this is a great way to level up because it doesn't matter if someone's level 50 or 60, they don't gain any benefit at all from that. So we're going to try and queue up for a simple deathmatch, and we'll see how that one turns out, and then I'll show you a couple of the other game modes if I get the time to do so.
Looking for game sessions.
Now, the unfortunate problem with Assassin's Creed games is they often release them very, very late on PC, and as a result, it doesn't really allow the multiplayer community to really flourish in any way. Thankfully, Assassin's Creed 3 does seem to have a reasonable number of games going on, although low population is indicated across the board. I assume the Steam sale probably helped out a little bit, so that's always nice. But Revelations and Brotherhood both had pretty serious population problems, which it sucked. I mean, it's really, really unpleasant, because it's a really cool game type. You also have the issue of dropping players and being switched around games because there are no dedicated servers, and it relies entirely on Ubisoft's matchmaking and, of course, players' patience. I mean, we just lost the entire game. Why? I have no idea. They just bailed on us for... Where's everyone gone? Who knows? You know, who knows? And this is a pretty serious problem, actually. It really, really is. It means that if you don't have friends that already play this game, then you're going to run into issues of actually getting into a game to begin with. There's a big problem in Revelations Brotherhood, as I pointed out earlier, so... That's the biggest barrier, I feel, when it comes to playing Assassin's Creed multiplayer on any of the versions on PC. You just flat out don't have enough players to make it reliable. And that's always going to be a big caveat whenever you recommend a game to anyone. You've got to be honest about whether or not there's actually enough players to make it worthwhile. This is something that comes up more and more between the War of the Roses and Chivalry debate, right? Because War of the Roses now has a significantly smaller player base than Chivalry. So buying Chivalry right now, you know, that's a smart thing to do because it's got plenty of players. You're never going to have a problem finding a game. Now, in War of the Roses, there are far less players, which means that you're making kind of a bigger risk. It could very well get to the point where the player base implodes and getting a game and actually having a depth of player experience is difficult. You always need new players. You need new blood coming into the game to provide essentially cannon fodder for the more experienced guys, but to keep things fresh and actually shift the metagame and change the way that the game is actually played. If you don't have that, then what you tend to have is this elitist hardcore at the top that is not accepting of new players, and it's just going to slap you around all over the place. It's not fun, and then people leave, and the whole game just dies a slow and painful death. It's essentially game population starvation. And it's kind of sad to see that Assassin's Creed 3 does have that problem to begin with, but I should point out that this is very much Ubisoft's fault. And the reason it's Ubisoft's fault is because, once again, they released an Assassin's Creed game late on PC after repeatedly stating that they wouldn't. Which means that they opened the doors for piracy. They very much encouraged people to buy it on console, not PC, which means the PC community was significantly smaller. If you happen to be a fan of the series, you probably just bought it on console. Christ, we've got people leaving again. And you kind of kill the community. You shoot it in the foot before it even gets a chance to really get going, which absolutely sucks. Also, add in the fact that their servers are pretty dodgy, their matchmaking is not all that good, and people had tons of problems on launch, again, with yet another Ubisoft game, when it came to the Uplay system and the authentication and things like that. I heard that within the first week, it was impossible to get a multiplayer game because the bloody thing just didn't work. So imagine how many people just flat out gave up at that point. Quite a few, I would think, and rightfully so. Ain't no one got time for that. Alright, well, I am going to wait until I get a game, and once I have one, I will show you, hopefully, a little bit of Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer. Alright, we've managed to get a session. It's deathmatch as opposed to simple deathmatch, but whatever. I'll take what I can get at this stage. And someone stole my character. Look at that guy. Look at how handsome he is. Look at how obviously intellectual and well-educated he must seem to you. And I don't get to play him. I get the guy with the bayonet. Alright, well, I'll stick with it.
Objective is to find and kill assigned targets. Avoid being killed by other players. First blood.
Really as simple as that, honestly. Wow, get in the game and already someone's been stabbed. And I have a feeling it was actually my target. Well, that sucks. Alright, so the point of Assassin's Creed multiplayer in all situations is to stab and kill your assigned target in some way, and try to avoid being killed by the person that is hunting you. currently I have no one hunting me. Oh, hello. I think that's actually my target. Oh, we got smoke bombed, so never mind. I need to keep an eye on him because I know that is my target. Ah, he's been killed by... No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Not yet. I might be able to kill him. Oh, he threw some knives at me. Little bastard.
Contested kill.
Ah, well, I killed him, but he contested the kill, so I didn't get so much money out of it. So, as you probably noticed, I was pursuing that target. Someone else was pursuing him. He got into a fight, stabbed someone else, and then we ended up in a situation where he knew that I was coming after him, and he was able to contest the kill. Now, the way that the combat works in Assassin's Creed multiplayer is surprisingly simple. There are no really crazy special moves or anything along those lines. Someone is close to me. I can hear them. So I'm going to punch him in the face. There we go, problem solved. As I was saying, there aren't really all that many complexities to the combat. Essentially, if you want to kill someone, you get in range and you click them, and that's it. Now, you can focus on them for a time in order to get a better kill, and depending on how exactly you approach the target, depending on how incognito you happen to be, then the chances are you will be able to get a better score, and score is the key here. You can have a negative kill-death ratio and still actually win the game. It's not really that difficult, and that's simply because you happen to have just got better executed kills. And that guy's... he must have spotted me going into disguise. That's unfortunate. But he just ran up to me and got a reckless kill, yeah? Something that wasn't particularly stylish. In fact, it wasn't stealthy at all. So he gets 100 points. 100 points is bugger all, I might add. I already have 450, so... And that was just from the one kill that I got. So that's not really too big a deal. Alright. Now, currently I know that I'm not being hunted by anyone because there's no little red chevron beneath my name. So I have free reign to try and find my target and hopefully stay as stealthy as possible. It would appear that... I think he's over there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that guy. Unfortunately, I'm not sure I can approach him without him kind of... Oh, yep. Someone is coming in my direction. One of my hunters was directly after me, and now I've been hit by knives. And then stunned by my target. Yeah, he was pretty smart, certainly. And this guy... No, is it this guy? No, there's a guy over there that's trying to kill me. There we go. Stunned him. No problem at all. So, there are times when you are able to stun your target, which will prevent them from pursuing you. At which point, they lose their contract and they have to go and hunt someone else, which is good. If you try and attack them head-on, rather than being able to catch them from the side or stun them from a concealed position, then you will die. Guaranteed. Like, there is no way you can beat them. You will get a contested kill. Actually kind of want to try and finish him off, but that didn't happen. Now I have two pursuers on me, even better. I have a feeling he might be one of them. Oh, he's definitely one of them. There we go, we get a contested kill. So he's only going to get 100 points for that, so that's not too bad. And I actually even get some money for doing an honorable death as well. Not too bad. I'm still a little bit behind in this game, but there's still everything to play for. So the whole point of the game really is to be observant, to try and spot people that are moving in an odd fashion, to keep an eye out for players that are clearly players as opposed to AI characters. In deathmatch mode, the characters are reasonably easy to identify for the most part because there aren't any clones of them. So you need to be looking for someone that kind of stands out. I'm trying to hunt this guy. I'm also his only hunter, so that's a little bit easier for me. Alright, he's within line of sight. The question is where? Was it him? Don't think so. Actually, it might have been. Very well might have been. I don't really know the characters all that well as of yet, so it's difficult to say. In fact, that might be him. There we go. Sorted. Pretty basic kill, but I did it incognito. I have a guy tracking me. He's coming from this direction. So I'm going to go into this group. I'm going to blend. I'm going to wait for him to come around the corner, and then I'm hopefully going to punch him. Assuming he's stupid enough to do that. Come on. It's a very tense game, a very cautious game. Requires a reasonable degree of thought, as opposed to real twitch skill. Smack. Sit down. You silly Indian bint. Thank you very much. Mild casual racism. Role-playing, of course. Role-playing. No! He's gonna stab me! Ah! Should have seen that one coming a mile away. It's not always easy to determine who your target is, and it's definitely not easy to determine who is hunting you. But that's cool, because that's essentially what makes the game interesting. In this mode, you're not pointed to the target at all. The only thing you know is whether or not you're within line of sight of the target. There are other modes whereby there are copies of various players. I think this guy might be after me. Yep, he is, but at least I can get an honorable death out of that. So that's not too shabby. So in other modes, there are copies, and you've got to determine who's the real one and who isn't. Although it usually gives you more visual aids in the UI to help you determine that. So it's not really all that tricky. You also have abilities. I haven't really used my abilities all that much at all yet. I know I have 2 pursuers currently, so what I'm going to do is to try and shake those pursuers as I'm going to disguise. So I have 2 pursuers on me. My target is within range. I believe it's... Is it him? I think it is. Yeah. Nope. Clearly it wasn't. Alright, now my disguise is going to wear off. I also have a money bomb, which... I have a feeling this... Is she after me? I'm going to stay on this side. Just try and stay towards the edge. Should make things a little bit more obvious. As to whether the target is on me. I have a feeling one of those... Oh, she is definitely wanting me. Well, maybe not. I don't know, she could be being super sneaky. It's one of those two. Pretty sure. No, it's not. It actually isn't at all. God. It's really, really hard to focus on who it actually is. It's not him, isn't it? No. I was just wondering if this guy was a disguise or whatever. God. Where is this guy? He's in my... He's in my line of sight. Alright. Okay, so I know for a fact that this guy's trying to go for me, but running right at me, couldn't really stop him. I think I could have if I threw a knife at him. That would have done the job, but he didn't really get a lot of points for it, so it actually doesn't matter all that much. Again, that's the weird thing about the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, is that you've got to consider the notion of score more so than anything else. KD is so irrelevant. I mean, I'm in 3rd place right now. I've probably been killed more than I've killed. But that's fine, because my kills have been high-quality kills. So it doesn't really matter all that much. Now, what I do need to do is try and hunt one of these guys down, because we're starting to run out of time here, and I'd like to get out of 3rd place if possible. Currently, I have 2 pursuers. Alright. He's around here. It's one of the Indian blokes. It's that guy over there, I think. Now, I don't want to make a beeline for him. Oh, there's a guy after me. Oh! Oh, you sneaky bastard. Oh, I thought it was him, but apparently not. Alright, that guy's coming right at me. I know he's an enemy. He's just been stunned, though. But he's still hunting me. Have some knives. There you go. Can I actually hit him? There you go. Sweet. Oh, no! He was after me, too. Ah, typical. So typical. At least I got the stun, but he got such a good kill on me there. 850 points. That was a really nice kill. Yuri233 is so far ahead, it's completely impossible to catch him at this stage, I think. But, I don't know, I'm still in 3rd place, which is not bad. I've only had a few games of this multiplayer mode so far, so it's not too shabby. Alright, I'm going to have to Pocahontas over there.
30 seconds remaining.
Now, at the 30-second mark, what tends to happen is that people are probably just going to tear around the place and try and stab each other as quickly as possible, just to get some additional kills here and there. Totally understandable. And that's where the game sort of degenerates into an absolute joke. Where is she? Apparently she's within my line of sight. I don't know about that. I don't see her. Oh, she's over there. All right. Quick. Get her. Get her, get her, get her, get her. Yeah! It's like 100 points for that, if anything, but that didn't go too badly, I suppose. 3rd place, that's all right. As you can probably see, it's pretty unique, but it's also very, very difficult to explain, especially while you're trying to do it, because there's a lot of these weird factors that don't really make a huge amount of sense. Like, the fact that I finished in 3rd place with a 3 to 6 KD. That sounds terrible, but it's not, because my kills were just much, much better than everyone else's. So I was able to get 3rd place as a direct result of that. The whispering that you heard in the background, for instance, that's actually an indicator that one of your pursuers is nearby. Also, there's a heartbeat sound that you can hear which indicates that your target is nearby as well. The whole blue box around the icon indicates that the target is within line of sight, but it doesn't tell you exactly where that is. You can also lock onto the target and tag them if you want to keep an eye on them. And by the looks of it, we actually hit level 6 there. Not too shabby. That would actually enable me to unlock an ability, I believe. I think there were a couple there. Have a look at progression. Was it progression? No, it's not. It's under this, isn't it? Well, never mind. Deathmatch is going to start again in a second. So let's do one more game of this, and we can come to a conclusion on the multiplayer based on, of course, first impressions. I mean, it's pretty much the same multiplayer that we saw in the previous games. There's really nothing all that unusual about it, at least in comparison to the other Assassin's Creed games. It's a very unusual multiplayer mode, outside of the fact that all of the other Assassin's Creed games have been just like this. The improvements have been very, very gradual. It's actually going to let me play. I should be going in there in a second. The improvements have been very, very gradual. I think they may have actually made it just a little bit too easy. Like, I can tell you this for a fact. The heartbeat thing and the whispering was nowhere near as loud or as obvious as it used to be. But they have made some balance changes here and there. They've changed the balance on the guns, and they've also made it so that the guns and throwing knives and poison darts are actually in a separate slot, so you don't have to sacrifice an ability for them. Does mean that the prevalence of those items is much, much higher, but they are making some efforts to actually improve things. There are more game modes available, which is always nice to see. No idea why this is taking so bloody long. There are more maps, and these whole meta events that keep happening, those are pretty neat too. So I'm fairly impressed that they decided to put that stuff in there. But the same problems remain in the PC version, that being that the matchmaking is dodgy, doesn't work half the time, and unfortunately that the multiplayer community is somewhat small. And it's a nasty catch-22 because it makes me hesitant to recommend it on the basis of the multiplayer, because I can't guarantee that you're going to be getting a huge amount of enjoyment out of it. Because you might not get games. I mean, I'm sitting here waiting for this game to start. This game should have started like 2 minutes ago and it hasn't yet. Why? Who the hell knows? I don't know. It's just the matchmaking being dodgy, and now people have lost patience with it, and now they're leaving because the game doesn't work as intended. And it's just a real problem. And if you're going to put only matchmaking in your game, you better damn well make sure the thing actually works. If it doesn't, then I'm going to say to you, well, jackass, you just created a game that doesn't live up to spec. It's not fit for purpose. I'm having to leave this game session now. I want to show you another game. Hopefully I can get into another quick match and I can actually give you an opportunity to do that. I don't really care what the mode is at this point. I just want to play. And it's super depressing because Assassin's Creed multiplayer... Damn it! He stole my sodding... Ah, fine, whatever. Obviously the top hat is just too much allure for some people. I will choose... I don't know. I'll just let it select it for me. It's annoying because Assassin's Creed is one of the more unique game types that you will find in the multiplayer scene today. It's a AAA game with a really unusual multiplayer game type, and they've been gradually and very slowly evolving it over the course of a number of games. And it's gotten to the point where it's really, really good. I think I prefer the simplicity of simple deathmatch more so than anything else. But honestly, it's really, really fun. It's genuinely enjoyable. It's very, very tense. And it gives you all sorts of opportunities for sneaky maneuvers. It's a thinking man's game. There isn't really any twitch skill involved in it. Where the hell is this guy? Oh, he evidently was over there. Is it that guy? I think it is. Yeah, we're going to stab him. There we go. Nice start. Slip and blend into the group. I have 2 targets on me. So, there we go. That's going to make things a little bit more difficult. And there's someone close by that is one of my pursuers. I think it might be him. I've got this feeling that it is. Oh, hello. Looks like my pursuer just got stabbed, so I got my ass saved. Now, who else am I after? It's the same fellow again with the silly hat. As you can see, I'm just kind of hanging out in the group. Like, it's alright, don't worry. Chill out. Nothing unusual going on right here. Nothing unusual at all. I like the blend mechanic. As I said, you just move into one of these blend areas and then you sort of act natural, as it were. Which makes it just a little bit harder to be spotted. Like, mechanically, you can very easily be spotted. Like, the game will say, oh, well, it's not fooled by the whole blending thing at all. But that's not what it's all about. Alright, this guy's apparently after me. He's just revealed himself, so I'll try and keep an eye on him if possible. Yeah, okay. I see him.
Contract lost.
Ah! And what I would like to do is actually head up to him and just try and... Is he after me? Nope. Looked like it. Was a little bit suspicious for a moment there. Alright, so I'm after the dodgy Indian bloke. I got a little bit derailed there. The point is that it is a game about subterfuge, and it's a game about stealth and about acting as naturally as possible. And the whole blending system... Oh, he's mine. He is mine. Get back here.
Contract lost.
Oh, come on, really? Yeah, you're gonna have some knives. Oh, dear. That did not go well. I don't think I hit him with the knife before I was able to stun him. But he got barely any points for that, because it was just a mess. Every now and again, it degenerates into that. And I love the fact the game's based on observation. There are just so few multiplayer games like this. I mean, there's like this, The Ship, and Spy Party, really. Can I finish him off? Yep, there we go. Get myself some extra points. Just by running up to my target. I'm not being pursued by anyone, so that's good. And we're looking for the man in the top hat. So let's go and have a hunt for him. Where could he be? Some of these guys like to hide out on the roofs. I personally don't like that tactic. Makes you far too obvious. Alright, he's around here somewhere. I don't see him. He could be using a disguise, of course. Interesting. Not doing so well on the points at the moment. I need to get a really good kill. He is around here, but I'll be damned if I know where. Oh, there he is. Alright, we got him, we got him. Okay, that is the objective. Lol, someone just went in there. There's some kind of crazy nonsense going on at this stage. And stabby stabby. There we go. Incognito kill as well. Excellent. 450 points. Not too shabby. What I will say for the multiplayer is that it is ridiculously iterative. Like, they haven't made a huge number of changes over the last 3 games.
Contract lost.
And they're almost, in fact, they are, in fact, doing exactly what Call of Duty does, which is essentially just a roster update. It's new characters. They all do the same thing anyway, so picking your character is irrelevant. There's someone coming. Where is he? I can hear him. Don't know where he is. Alright, I think I'm out of his way at the moment. Oh no, he's right behind me. I'm gonna punch him, and then I'm gonna... Ah, I get punched by him. it's a freaking punch fest going on. This is ridiculous. Everyone's just brawling at this stage. And it's gone to the point where it's very hard to recommend Assassin's Creed as just a multiplayer experience. Like, you can do that with Call of Duty, because that's where the majority of the actual budget has been put. That's where most of the effort's been put in. It's signature multiplayer. And I missed completely. So that's... I didn't lock onto him and throw my knives, so that didn't end up well, but at least I got an honorable death out of it. It's still very much a sideshow for the main event, that being the single-player mode, and until it actually evolves into its own package, which I very much hope that it does, because, like, I couldn't care less about the single-player anymore of this game. I really, really couldn't, because it's the same thing over and over again. It doesn't suit my sensibilities. I don't really like or enjoy the single-player mode of Assassin's Creed all that much. And until it starts to split off and really start to evolve in a big way, it's hard to recommend this solely for the sword! Damn it! He just came running right at me. At least he kind of got a lot of points for that.
Massacre.
It's hard to recommend it just as the multiplayer experience. You really can't. It's impossible to do so. It's sad, really, because it's still a really, really fun multiplayer mode. I enjoy it immensely. I have a huge amount of enjoyment when I play this game and when the bloody thing actually works. Who am I looking for? Man in the top hat. Is he on the roof again? He very well could be. I can hear his heartbeat close by. There he is, alright. There we go. Ah! You saw that one coming. I'm gonna disguise myself, make things a little bit more difficult. And unfortunately, since I was injured in the contested kill, I wasn't able to stun her. Ah, well. This was nowhere near as good as my previous game, but that's just how it goes. Anyway, as I said, it's, you know, if you can pick up the game cheap at some point, then I would certainly recommend it for multiplayer. But the problem is, by the time you can do that, chances are there's not even going to be a multiplayer community for you to participate in. That's sad, really. It's very, very sad. It's such a good game mode, and it just hasn't taken off yet on PC. Oh, God! Why? I don't know. It's... I guess some people just don't really like innovation. They don't really like new game modes, or you can also, of course, blame Ubisoft for it. I think it's just a combination of that, and it's really sad. And it's the same problem that the ship had, and you'd think that... it's him. Okay. And I lost the contract. God damn it. And you would think that because it's attached to a really popular game to begin with, that the multiplayer would be absolutely fine, and it would be extremely popular, but sadly on PC, not so much. Anyway, that's pretty much all I can say about Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun when you can get a game, but it's hard to recommend buying the game solely on the basis of playing the multiplayer, which doesn't necessarily work half the time and has a very, very small community. But I'll dip into it every now and again, because it's a lot of fun, and hopefully... if you do happen to have Assassin's Creed 3 single player and you've never really dipped into the multiplayer, that you do actually consider doing so. It would be a good idea. As I said, it is a bunch of fun, it's very, very unique, and you'll probably find it somewhat rewarding. And hopefully you'll do better than I did in Game 2. Because, my God, I've done terribly. Absolutely dreadfully. One more recommendation, if you're interested in watching more Assassin's Creed multiplayer, I would strongly recommend that you go and subscribe to the Aussie Gamer. That's 2 Z's, or Z's, whichever country you happen to be in. Please, by all means, do go and subscribe to him, because he is kind of wonderful. Alright, he's one of my targets. Alright, I've got to be careful here, because I think she knows. She can tell. Oh, maybe not. There we go. That was a nice kill.
1 minute remaining.
Excellent. That actually took me from 6 to 4. The Aussie Gamer does videos with Assassin's Creed Revelations and Assassin's Creed 3. They're very, very well edited. They're very funny, assuming, of course, that you like an Australian swearing, and who the hell doesn't. I would strongly recommend that you go and check him out. That's youtube.com/theAussieGamer. And you'll see some really good gameplay there. He's a lot better at this game than I am. He's played it a lot more than I have. And you will most likely enjoy his presentations. I'm just gonna blabber a little bit more. Yeah, no, well, I'll take the honorable death. That's an extra 100. I think he revealed himself, so that wasn't too good. And then quickly chase someone down. I could actually get into 3rd place here if I got a good kill. The question is on what? Come on, come on. Show me a target. Show me a target. 8 seconds. Run around like a lunatic. No! I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. He's there! He's there! Get him! Yes! On the 0! Ah. 4th. Ah, well. You know, I'll take pride in that. I'll take pride in that kill. That was amusing. And screw you for stealing my character. My name's been TotalBiscuit. A look at Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer on PC, warts and all. I'll see you next time.